So should I start recommending like normal shit to you so you could fucking get back on the path of the light, I guess?
I walk the path in between light and darkness, the path that not many tread.
Right, I agree.
Do I come out unscathed? I don't know yet.
No,
I'm sure there is a price
Greg.
that I pay.
Yeah, in your day-to-day life, do you come out unscathed? No, you have the memories of viewing these horrific animes. Not actually horror-inducing, but like, I'm sure like at some point you've been in a grocery store and you're like, do you like big girls? Ah, fuck, god damn it. I came here for pasta. Hi friends, welcome to the Anime Book Club podcast. I'm your host, DJ Montague.
And I'm your host, Greg, and here we review anime from classics to brand new stuff, hidden gems, and controversial favorites.
You'll hear all of our hot takes, rants,
and genius observations. So thanks for tuning in, and buckle up, because the episode starts now.
By the way, friends, these episodes contain spoilers, so be careful, and don't ruin this anime for yourself. You've been warned. How would I just, domain expansion full bossed all over the place?
You can do that. That's something we definitely do here at the Anime Book Club podcast. My name is Greg. Getting captured by a barbarian lord that looks like he's 40 but is actually 18 with a giant golden donger. Having trouble talking to literally anyone other than my robot kaiju killing machine. Getting punched by a dude walking in the desert, and I am already dead. And living in the hole, huffing that black smoke. Big Smart Large D, Jesus, and I am joined with my friend, Man, making a disgusted face as I show him my underwear, and this is where he says his name.
Hi, I'm DJ Montague. Good Lord. Greg, hold on, before we continue with the intro, your descriptions and like your tidbits from these episodes, they're unreal, because like, where the fuck, like, we're watching anime, right? Not hentai. That's what we're watching, right?
Yes.
We're like anime for dummies. We're trying to get people to watch stuff they've never watched, and it's like, do you want to get boners while you watch this all day?
I mean, you might. It's a possibility.
Firm possibility.
And today we are going to be wrapping up MarriageToxin, episode 13, the finale. And we are going to cover all of the spring extra credit that I have watched. And they include, I want you to make a disgusted face and show me your panties 2018, 2019, and 2026. So we have 3 seasons of that show. Chitose is in the Ramune bottle, episodes 11 through 13. They did have a little hiatus going on, so they finished up 3 episodes there. Virgin Punk, which is a movie, and DJ Montague also watched it, so we can have a conversation about that.
Yeah.
Dorohedoro, season 2.
And I wanted to. Oh, man, I have too much stuff going on in my real life. Like, why do I need to be a functioning member? Can't I just be a fucking streamer already so I can watch anime all the time? Someone help.
I mean, you can, and you do, and you are.
But not enough.
Snowball Earth, Marika's LoveMeter, Malfunction, ReZero, season 4, episodes 1 through 11, The Warrior Princess and the Barbaric King, YowaYowa Sensei, Fist of the North Star, 2026, I suppose, because this was the remake. Ichijouma Mankitsugurashi. Trapped in a dating sim, the world of Otome games is tough for mobs. That's an older one. That's season 1, so that was in 2022. Do you like big girls? Spirit Warrior, Peacock King, which is a OVA from 1994. So I did actually have some older ones on here that I was catching up on. And Blood Blockade Battlefront season 1, and Blood Blockade Battlefront and Beyond, which is season 2. Everybody, welcome to the show.
There's so much.
I thought I took it easy this season.
Yeah, okay. Every fucking time you say that, every fucking season. You're like, yeah, I'm taking it chill, dude. I'm only watching 25 seasons of anime.
Some of this stuff is like really short. Some of them are only a handful of episodes. One's a movie. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of, yeah, I thought I did good. I thought I did a good job. I pat myself on the back.
All right, good job, Greg.
We kind of have a little bit of a mixed bag here because we are going to do Marriage Toxin first. So this will be the standard format of the review of Marriage Toxin, since they wanted to do 13 episodes as opposed to 12 like all the other animes. So we had to do an extra additional episode for their finale. And I will say that I wish the rest of the show was more like this episode. This is, I think, what I like about Marriage Toxin is everything that happens in episode 13. Like, I liked episode 1 through 3, and then 4 through 12 were kind of like, I don't know, man. And then 13 really brought me back. Not enough to save its rating, but it did bring me back. So, do you have any thoughts about this last episode of Marriage Toxin before I get into it?
I agree with you. And I thought that you would like this episode way more than you liked any of the other ones. It's definitely a much more fun experience. We just literally watched like 8 episodes of mediocrity, and then we get the last episode was like, oh, I forgot what this show was about.
Yeah, because I don't feel like there's very much development in the story or the characters during the action scenes. And we've had maybe like the past 5 episodes have kind of been all action.
Yeah, but like not even really all that much action either. If you really look at Marriage Toxin, they kind of have some scenes where they have a bit of action and like they get to flex their chops a little bit. But dude, it's like, I would say over the course of this season, there's probably like 2 full minutes of like, I thought this was cool, like action scene wise.
Yeah.
We watched hours of this show. You know what I mean? And there's so much quote unquote action in it. I don't know, man. It really feel like it lost itself. And it lost itself so fast.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking like the little action scenes, like when they were first rescuing Himekawa and then Gero was like flash kicking all those guards with the really, really tall hats for no reason.
Yeah.
Like all of him like fighting the beast, like the lesser beast clan guys was just like a whole lot of nothing. Yeah, like the action was there, but it didn't have any substance. It was kind of like you were eating a dish that up front maybe had some spice, but then was just lacking flavor and texture on the back end. And it was disappointing.
I agree. And that's a big failing, I think, on the writers' part of this show. Not necessarily the animators. I just feel like maybe the show gets better, or maybe the manga is good and everybody like really like goes hard on it, or maybe they had to like stretch the manga out, or whatever it is. It just doesn't feel like the pacing is right. It feels awkward.
Awkward like Gero.
All right, let's rip it.
So, okay, here we go. We move into Marriage Toxin, episode 13, season 1 finale. And it starts where episode 12 left off with the Beast Clan lady, and she rescues Dogo and Byako, and she's just like, hey boys, gotta go. Oh, Gero, I heard you were looking for a mate. You want some of this shit? And Gero's like, what? And then she narrates she'll see Gero again. And the 5 families are moving toward unification after hundreds of years. And then she just teleports away with her giant wolf, and that's that. Peachy is like, all right, I guess we go back. And Gero, the hard part is coming, and I'm rooting for you, for your marriage thing. The ladies show up, and Ushio water taxis them back on a boat. And Arashiyama is like, time to show our appreciation. And all the Beast Clan people show up and give them an aquarium circus thank you show. And Gero is like, Arashiyama, you're cool as fuck. May takes the chance to start more conversation, and they talk romance. And May asks Peachy about his girlfriend, and he's like, she's fucking number one girl, NA, and he's a piece of shit, and he learned happiness from her. Gero's like, holy shit, Peachy, you said all that without hesitation or embarrassment. Is this how a girl's guy actually acts? But May doesn't hesitate to set the stage and plan for Gero and Arashiyama, and she's like, stay cool like Peachy and get her number. And May cues Gero up, but Gero gets cold feet. But Arashiyama takes the lead, and she says that she likes Gero, but says she can't marry him because She isn't up to her own standards yet. And if she went with Gero now, she would end up dependent on him.
People often forget that you can also grow in a relationship. And don't sell yourself short getting something that you want when you believe that you're not necessarily ready for it, but you still have like things you want to accomplish. Sure. But we're living in a world right now where a lot of people are saying a hard stop to like even engaging with somebody else because you haven't achieved your goals. Your plans are years in the future, and you can still grow together and like work on your mental health together. If somebody gives a shit about you, they're giving a shit about you right now, and they will continue to like care for you, and you're not going to ruin a relationship like with that jaded view of yourself, right? You get what I'm saying here?
I hear what you're saying. I agree to a certain extent.
I'm saying don't sell yourself short, but still understand you need to grow.
Yes. So my note here says, Arashiyama, you're a gem, working on herself before entering a relationship. What a girl. And I do hear what you're saying, but I always look at it this way, right? Every single person has a foundation. We're all a house. We have to build a foundation first. And then once we have a solid foundation, we can start building on top of that. And I think what she's saying, and normally what I tell people as well, is like you need that solid foundation, because if you don't have that foundation, not even necessarily like she wants to achieve a goal or like do anything in particular, but she just wants to be able to build that solid foundation for herself. So if you take the foundation example in like houses, if you have one foundation that's solid and then you have another foundation that is made of quicksand, then when you start to build, then the quicksand portion is going to start to sink whatever is built upon those foundations. And there's nothing that that solid foundation part can do to help the quicksand foundation part, because that quicksand foundation part of the relationship needs to be solid before it engages with another person. Now, if two people had solid foundations, then you can grow from there. And obviously, like you can lean on each other and help each other to build on top of these two solid foundations that you have. But I think that's what Arashiyama is saying, is that she doesn't have her solid foundation yet, and she wants to build that foundation first. And then once she has that, then she'll come find Gero so they can build a house on top of that shit. And it's not going to be fucking circus mirror house all fucking lopsided and shit because her side's falling down while his side is standing up. For the highest success, you would probably want that. And I would bring it back to something like, if you cannot live on your own, then I don't know if you should be living with somebody else. And I think that's her point as well, is because if she lived with Gero now, she would end up depending on him. In this example, with Arashiyama and Gero, if she ends up depending on Gero the whole time, and Gero dies, he gets Beast Clan mastered, sanguine blood, modified bloodline plus kill Gero. Yeah. Then Arashiyama's dead because she's completely dependent on Gero. But if you are two independent standing things, even if one part of it gets destroyed, you can still continue moving on.
Human mind is incredibly malleable. But I do think that it's like the saying, don't judge a fish by how it climbs a tree. Some people are more like cats, independent, very, self-sustaining. If you were to die, your cat's probably going to figure out a way, not to get out of the house, but like figure out how to live for a little while, right?
Yeah, they'll just eat your dead.
You'll eat your fucking face, right? While a dog would probably do the same thing to a certain extent. Dogs, I think, have more dependency based on how we've bred them. I think people have that same thing. If you are a person that has a really hard time living on your own, that doesn't mean you're not a complete person. And it doesn't mean you have to work on that portion to have a successful relationship. There are some people that just work well symbiotically when they have someone else that's like, okay, you're the independent person, I'm the anxious attachment type of person. We work well together because you give my day-to-day life formula and progression and goals more tangible than I would be without myself, or without you. Sorry. You get what I'm saying here?
I do. I don't know if I agree, but I hear what you were saying.
I think in an ideal scenario, the formula of, hey, we should both be two independent people that come together and make each other better based on the foundations that we already have set in ourselves. Yes, I 100% agree, because I'm that type of person as well. But as a person, I have to recognize that other people don't have those same abilities, and they still deserve and should have the availability to have love in their lives.
Yeah, I'm not saying this is like if you don't follow Greg Big Smart Deezus love equation, you're going to fail at like love life at all.
I know that.
It would be the most successful and the most healthy to do it that way. I'm not saying you have to do it that way. And there's lots of instances of it working out, not with the equation that I have laid out. But also it's like a lot of it too is you don't need to have all of that stuff like on lock, but you need to have like an awareness of day-to-day life foundational stuff, and you need to have a good intent in terms of like trying to achieve that. I'm not saying you have to be like grandmaster, I'm good at my finances and like I can cook and clean and shit, but you should be aware of it and work towards it.
Yes, and this is exactly why like young love has a lot of issues, because people aren't completely themselves. They sacrifice a lot of their learning in their adolescence to have that love and that companionship that we're taught so early is like the most important thing in your life.
But we can both agree that Arashiyama is good girl, right? She good girl.
Yeah, she's great. She's smart.
Girl.
I like her the most out of all the characters.
And Gero does too. Gero is like, sick, I'll be waiting. And now Gero has 4 friends on his phone. Ushio drops them off and is like, send me my money, you fucks, and then swims away. And Gero's like, damn, is she upset about something? I don't know. And Meia's like, hey, where's Peachy? And Peachy gets in his girl's car and she's like, did you have a good time with your friends? I know group activities aren't your thing. And he's like, yeah, it was fun. Meia's like, what are you going to do, Arashiyama? And she's like, I'm going to open a detective agency. And Meia's like, oh, I thought you were going to do more cute shows with those hamsters. And she's like, nah, a detective is way cooler. And she has an internal monologue about how she wants to find what happened with her brother. Gero's like, man, all these girls are sick, and it makes me want to become sick too. But then it cuts to Gero's dad with a giant vat of insects and a dude named Teruaki just chilling inside of the vat of insects. And he's like, how's that sweet vat of poison? And Teruaki is like, it's sick as fuck. I almost died. And Gero's dad is like, well, let's talk about Gero's marriage. And then it cuts back to Gero and Mei at a family restaurant talking to some girl about what to do about love.
I have a question. Why the fuck? Why does Gero's dad give a shit about the marriage at all? I get that he's like, oh, I'll marry somebody to save my sister. It's been a while, right? Has it been 2 weeks in this anime?
You know what I think is actually going to happen? So in that scene and with Teruaki, it feels like Gero's dad and Teruaki are going to sabotage Gero's marriage and fuck Gero, right? Mm-hmm. I think in the long term, it's going to be some weird thing like his dad is going to, push Gero and do all this stuff just so he understands some sort of life lesson and has like a healthy marriage. And in the end, he's going to like, it's for the betterment of himself and getting married, not like, hey, let's kill Gero because he's marrying too slow.
Right. But my thing is like, I don't think he's going to try and kill Gero either. But also, shouldn't they actually be upset how long this is taking?
Well, Gero's only what, 21, 23,
22, right? Something
yeah, so he's got time.
Early 20s.
He's got time.
Yes, but also they were the ones pushing for this.
And another part of me feels like they were pushing him specifically to expedite his uncurable master poison shit that they were talking about so much in episode 12 and episode 11. How like, oh, it's going to take 20 years for you to ascend and get the ultimate poison, Gero. I think at that time when Gero saved Arashiyama? I think they said, but I think he was around 10 or so. And then when Gero's dad in the flashback was like, hey, Gero, like, you know, maybe in 20 years you're going to make this master poison or whatever. So Gero's basically made the poison in half the time than was predicted or whatever. And I think that might be something that his dad is either like looking for or looking at, or maybe it's not at the poison clan's expected potency or something. And then they're going to work off of that story point, possibly. I don't know. I think it's going to be something stupider than that, to be honest, but...
Okay. Well, yeah, I agree.
But Gero and May are at a family restaurant talking to some girl about what to do about love. And May says he wants Gero to tag along while he gives love advice. Next up is a rugby player, and the rugby player is like, I want to date my manager. And May is like, Gero, what should he do next? And Gero's like, put your heart into it, I guess. Oh, be polite. And he's like, sick man, thanks. That's exactly what I needed to hear. And Gero is still super nervous. So he goes and he cleans the entire restaurant's toilets, and everyone is like, holy shit, is this magic? But then they meet more people, and Gero's brain is on fire. And Gero is like, fuck, man, I'm just going to shoot up. I'm going to shoot up some intellectual linguistic enhancer toxin, silver tongue, to get through this. But May is like, nah, man, what the fuck are you doing? May is like, there is no right answers. Everyone is just trying their best. And the other day, with Arashiyama, you lost all confidence. But that proves you're giving your all, just like everybody else. They finish up, and Gero is doing a candy kit to reward himself. And May is like, time for some skiaki. And Gero is like, sorry, I got plans. But Gero's like, hey, May, you know what? We've been through a lot since I almost tried to fucking kill you. And it's been fun. And all I had before were candy kits. And then they have a good laugh. So they bonded there. I thought Gero was going to like say he was going to bang May or something, but
well, no, I don't think that's, I think their evolution of their relationship is actually, it took fucking 12 episodes, but here we are, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But then it cuts to Gero meeting up with his sister, and she's like, how's it going? And he's like, it's okay, I guess. And she's like, damn, that marriage advisor must be good. But then she tells him that the branch families and Teruaki are up to no good. And it cuts to Teruaki looking at a picture of May on his smartphone while he stands on top of a fucking water tower overlooking the city for no reason. And that is the finale of MarriageToxin Season 1. And Season 2 has already been announced, so we will see more of our friends May and Gero and Peachy and Love.
Yeah, all in all, it's fine season finale. It's like Wisteria, like a lot of these animes are not like cliffhanging lately to try and like just keep you roped in and waiting. They're doing a good job of like making complete seasons, but this is just like an extra, what happens next? Because I mean, realistically, if you watch this in its entirety, you have a couple questions, but nothing that hasn't really been answered. You know, Gero is still doing the same thing. So
I liked this episode just because of the rom-com aspects of it, which is what I was expecting out of the whole anime. We didn't get a lot of it. We got it sparingly throughout the series, which is very unfortunate. And then we got a bunch of action, which we didn't ask for, or I didn't ask for anyway.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I enjoyed this episode. I enjoyed the interaction between Gero and Arashiyama. I enjoyed Ushio's interaction because obviously she has some sort of feelings for Gero. And when Arashiyama was laying out her feelings while she was literally towing all of them in a fucking boat, then I think she might have a thing for Gero, and she was a little,
yeah, for sure,
you know, like nervous / anxious / upset when she left, and that's why she left so fast. I would have liked to see a little update on the other girls, Himekawa, Shiori, just see how they were doing, because they kind of left it up in the air where Himekawa's still waiting for that lunch, I guess, to go out to fucking lunch with Gero, and Shiori is probably driving around Japan trying to find Gero on her motorcycle, and he's fucking on an island with 2 other girls, I guess. Oh, and then we have the potential next romance partner, which is Beast Clan.
Beast Girl. Yeah.
Yeah. White wolf, black hair, Dami mommy fucking over there potential. It's like, cool, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it was just a lot of like, I don't know, just they dabbled in a lot of stuff, but then there wasn't really any closure. There wasn't any conclusion, really. I mean, maybe Arashiyama the best so far, because she was just kind of like, hey, I can't marry you right now or go out with you. I got to work on myself. And
yeah,
so at least, you know, we kind of understand what her position is. But the other two girls, it seems like they're just sitting at home waiting for Garo. Yeah. And I'm sure we're going to like see them later where Garo's going to be in a pinch and Shiori's going to use her like company contacts or her crazy uncle hula hoop seat guy to like get them out of a pickle and stuff.
Hula hoop seat guy. Love it.
Yeah, so I wanted to see more of that.
Yeah, me too. This shit was funny.
Yeah, just more like the romance part of it. And I just feel like in general, like how you said, they kind of lost their path, in my opinion, where maybe they were trying to attract too many different demographics here with the action and like the romantic comedy stuff and just do a blend. But yeah, I just feel like this modifying bloodline plus sanguination mixed rom-com with action didn't actually pan out like Dogo, and then he just got poisoned and now he's dead. Yeah. Or not dead, but he's inside the mouth. Oh,
he's in. Yeah, him and Byako are just wolf mouthing it. Okay, well, that is our opinions. What is your rating, Greg?
My rating for MarriageToxin, I gave the animation a 9. It was good. Animation was really good. I don't think I really had any problems other than those specific parts with Peachy cutting up the squid. And then I think there was another part with Peachy that looked really weird. And then I didn't like Peachy's entrance because it was very Sakamoto-esque. I didn't like his Cubone helmet and bone sword thing.
Yeah.
I gave the animation a 9. More or less, it was really, really good. Character development, I gave a 6. I wasn't super happy about it, but they did develop characters. They developed Arashiyama. Garo obviously grew a little bit from here. We saw fucking Bugmaster. The girls grew. Ushio grew. Shiori grew. Whether it was how I wanted them to grow is a different story. But you know, I can't really take away that they did grow. So it's above average. I gave the story a 4. I didn't think the story was that strong because what they delivered to us was Garo, Poison Clan head, needs wife, make babies, and heirs. And that was kind of the story. And we get little side quests here where now he's a dark web bodyguard guy and stuff. But I thought the story was actually pretty weak. So that's why it's a 4. My personal feelings is also a 4. Yeah, as we said before, it's just not exactly how I thought it was going to turn out, how it was going to be. We did get some glimpses of what I thought the whole season was going to kind of be about, but they were few and far between. So that's why my enjoyability and feelings of it are so low. So in total, it gets a 5.
Okay. I gave it a 6. I think the animation hyper carried. I didn't even think the animation was that good. But in my heart, I watched it all. I enjoyed a few episodes. It's so much more than like something like Failure Frame. So I feel like based on my enjoyment of and recency bias of it, I think I gave it a 6. Just based on the last episode making me kind of want to watch season 2.
I don't know if I'd recommend it, really. Because I feel like for like rom-coms, you can go with other animes
so much better stuff
than this. And I just don't think this hybrid action / rom-com style that MarriageToxin has going on is very impactful. Yeah, I mean, I feel like you could watch Dan to Dan instead of this if you want 100%. Like an action rom-com.
Yeah, My Dress Up Darling.
Yeah, My Dress Up Darling, 100%. 100%.
All right, Greg, what's next?
We move on to my extra credit wrap-up of spring. And we'll just start at the top here. These should go pretty quick. We are going to start with, I want you to make a disgusted face and show me your underwear season 1, I suppose.
Okay, I'm going to read the synopsis and then you tell me how close to the...
The synopsis is probably going to be longer than what my notes are.
Oh, yeah. Every man wants to see panties, but unfortunately, that happens to be difficult to achieve. They are hidden beneath layers of clothing and seldom shown, other than to the trustworthy. They are considered the final frontier and the last barrier between the woman's bare skin and the wider world. The moment a girl shows her panties is when she is most vulnerable. It would be absurd to simply ask to see them, or would it? If a variety of girls were brazenly asked to show their panties, they would naturally be filled with contempt. But if one were to beg hard enough, they might be lucky enough to get a peek. The fuck, dude? What the fuck, dude?
Yeah. Well, that was more eloquent than the actual show, I'll be honest. The reason why I picked this, because for some reason, I didn't know that the other 2 seasons existed. I saw that Show Me Your Underwear returns on the spring list when we first were kind of like looking at animes. And normally I don't read the synopsis. I don't watch the preview trailers. I literally just pick shit out of the list and just holler. So I saw it and I'm like, oh, this might be funny because it'll make DJ Montague cringe and, you know, it'll be awkward and we're going to have good times or whatever. I was sorely inaccurate with that assumption of fun times. I had a terrible time, but lucky for me, it didn't last too long because all 3 of these seasons are 6 episodes each, and they are about 4 minutes apiece. So I didn't have to endure too long. And what I'm about to say is going to cover all of the seasons. So I'm just going to group all these into one because they're all literally the same. But notes are, 6 episode series, about 4 minutes apiece. I'm sad and disappointed that I watched this. To its credit, it does pick up where the other seasons left off, and it's still terrible. This is created for a very specific, certain type of audience, and it's definitely not me. I guess the only silver lining is that asking random girls to see their panties is the fastest way to alienate everyone around you, and the 2 seconds of panty viewing isn't worth a lifetime of everyone hating you. More of the same and terrible. Those are all of my notes for all 3 seasons. But to explain it a little bit more, unless you had any questions before I start.
No. Basically, this is 3 episodes of a show. It's fucking 24 minutes of anime for each season.
Yeah. So how the equation of this show is 6 episodes, 6 different girls. It starts out wholesome, where I think the first one is like a maid. The second one is like, I don't know, like a gamer girl or some shit. The third one's like one of the temple maiden chicks or something. So all like normal ass occupations and shit. So about the first 3 minutes is like, oh, hey, Mr. Customer, you come in all the time. Oh, you tip so well and you seem like such a nice guy. Everyone loves you. You're like one of our best customers. And then all of a sudden it's just like, what? You want to see my panties? And they're like, I can't do that. And then it's like, oh, you keep insisting. Fine, I'll show you. And then they show them for like 0.3 seconds. And then they make a disgusted face. And they're just like, oh, you're so terrible and gross. No one likes you. And that's it.
You're such a pervert. And
that's literally the episode. That's the end of the episode.
Cool.
It's for that specific audience that is into being degraded after asking for something like that. And it was super uncomfortable to be a part of. I didn't enjoy it in the slightest. All of the seasons are like that. They do revisit some of the girls, so I got to see some familiar faces, I suppose, and
cool.
It was bad. Every single one of those.
What was your rating, Greg?
It's a 1. They all get 1s. If I could rate it a 0, I would.
But it was animated. It was there.
I guess I can. Yeah, you're right. Like there was animation.
We're going to go back to Interspecies Reviewers that you watched before.
It's not even close to this. Interspecies Reviewers is leagues ahead of these 3 seasons of this anime. Right. I wouldn't even call this an anime. In my mind, this is like what they would call manga advertisement.
Okay.
They would make, an anime like this, 4 minutes long, 6 episodes for the series. And it's just supposed to get anime viewers interested in buying the manga, I would assume. So this is just literally here to give you a taste of what the manga is about. So you go out and buy it.
I'm trying to see how many chapters there are. Let's look at the...
I don't know, because maybe the manga
review
has more to it. Maybe there's a little bit more substance in the manga. Maybe there's an actual story. I don't know. I'm never going to find out. But yeah, I guess for anime only watching, highly recommend to not engage unless you are into that being degraded style fetish, I suppose. And like no judgment zone, right? If you're into that, no problem. I'm not into that. But if you are, check this out and it might tickle your fancy.
Okay. Onward. What's the next one?
Chitose is in the Ramune bottle, episodes 11 through 13. This was a fall 2025 anime, but it stopped at episode 10. I think there were like issues with the studio or something like that they didn't release the last 3 episodes. But episodes 11 and 13 were put on hold until spring 2026. So that's why it kind of made it into this 2026 extra credit.
Okay. I'm going to read the synopsis of this, and then I'm going to equate it to my most hated word in world history.
Okay.
Saku Chitose appears to lead an enviable high school life, extraordinarily charismatic, tremendously confident, and effortlessly friendly. He is the kind of person others naturally look up to, but his popularity carries its own burdens. Not everyone views him kindly, and whispers of cynicism follow wherever he shines too brightly. To Saku, living an ugly life is worse than death, a belief that drives his need to maintain his perfect reputation. At the start of his second year, Saku's homeroom teacher asks him to help bring back a classmate who has stopped attending school. Initially hoping to resolve the matter quickly, Saku finds that the shut-in Kenta Yamazaki harbors open contempt for him and everything he represents. A simple favor instead exposes the distance between those who live within the social light and those who were never given a chance to shine. Surrounded by the expectant gazes of those who both admire and despise him, Saku treads the delicate line between sincerity and performance, searching for what it truly means to live beautifully in a world that sees only the surface. So we start off looks maxing, and then we get a wholesome experience of him talking to this girl.
No.
Is that what happened?
Oh. No.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so I'll just run through my notes here, and then I'm going to give you what I think it's like and who might like this kind of anime.
Okay.
But I reviewed episodes 1 through 10 in the fall 2025 wrap-up.
Yep, I remember that.
And episodes 11 through 13 did not change my feelings on the show. To me, it is a self-insert show through and through, and the main character nor any of the other characters are relatable or compelling. It's high schoolers trying to be more than high schoolers, but then saying they need to hold on to their high school years because they'll be gone, but they obviously are mentally farther along than the average high schooler, so the story pieces don't make any sense. I just don't think the weird self-insert playboy thing Saku does to all the girls in the show is healthy, and the overly dramatic, forced emotional interactions and gross analogies and metaphors to make the characters sound more intellectual is out of place for me. To me, this show is like Eminence in Shadow. It's like Trapped in a Dating Sim. Okay. Those are the kind of show, maybe even like Failure Frame-esque, like those weird, I'm trying not to be cool, but I'm the coolest guy. And like, oh, I'm in high school, but then I beat up this guy that graduated my high school and he's like a college student now and I'm like better than him. And then all the girls are basically just fully dependent on this Saku guy. And then they have emotional issue arcs that he like pretends to be their girlfriends, and he's basically stringing along like 9 different girls, and it's super awkward and weird. And then in the synopsis, that Quinta guy, yeah, he's a shut-in because some girl that he liked like rejected him or something like that. And then I don't know if this is a Japanese thing. What teacher would go to another student and is like, hey, go to this other kid's house. I'm going to give you their address and other personal information. Just show up there and see if you can get them to like come to school. And then you get there and their mom is like, oh yeah, my son, he's shut in. Like I tried, but I don't know what to do. And then you knock at the door and then you try to like sweet talk him. And he's like, fuck you. I know what you're trying to do. And then you bring girls over and they're like, oh, hey, shut in man, you want to come out and hang out with me? And he's like, no, fuck you. Like, I see what you're trying to do. This is fucked up. So then Saku then goes onto the balcony, throws a bat through the fucking sliding glass door, and then walks in and is like, get out of here, shut in man. And then that's how he gets him out. And then I'm just like, well, that's fucking stupid. They did circle back and they're like, oh yeah, his mom okayed me to literally shatter all the windows in their fucking house just to get their son outside or whatever. But even then, with the relationship he kind of built with that guy, it was all built on like transactional, like I do this for you, you do this thing for me. Like I actually don't even really like you, but I'm gonna like turn you into a playboy like me. And then after we're done with this apprenticeship, I'm just gonna fucking leave and fuck you. It's really weird. Like I did not like this show at all. I didn't feel like it was relatable to anyone, especially high schoolers in that age range.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, like I don't understand the whole idea of basically having the mentality of like a full ass grown adult inserted into high schoolers and then make it seem like a high school story. Like it's super weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you. It seems like the author, here's the thing, is that I understand we come from all walks of life. We all have different personalities. We all experience the world differently. That is a viewpoint thing. It feels like, what was the anime that we were talking about where it's like obviously a self-insert anime where he gets like a harem and the main character of like evolves to look more like the dude, the mangaka? You know what I'm talking about?
The Rent-A-Girlfriend.
Yes. Yes, it seems like that.
No, it's worse than that, I think.
What I mean is you probably didn't experience this. So talking from experience or talking about something you don't understand and just creating like a fabricated world where this character's so cool, it doesn't equate like that. The reason that these characters, like people in like high school and like college, are cool, it has elements of that, but you have to understand where it comes from. And like usually there's a ton of self-deprecation, there's a ton of like, look at the looks maxing fucking groups that people are like, oh, everything's a formulaic idea of how to maximize your bone structure, your muscles and all this stuff. These are all not how normal people interact with the world. It's like a grind set culture that is in the looks area rather than the financial incentive area. And like, if you don't come from that, you haven't been involved with that, you're going to write a bad storyline around it, I feel like.
Yeah, I personally didn't like it. I don't think it's good. Actually, like straight up, I don't think it's actually like a healthy...
What did you rate it?
I rated it a 4.
Damn.
So the animation was good, but it was very like pretentious. Some of the troubles that the girls got in and stuff were like, it was very off-putting. And some of the stuff the characters said was just so out of like left field.
Yeah.
It was very like immersion breaking. But this isn't my thing. I don't like this style of storytelling. And I don't want to say like it's bad. It's not good for me. I don't like it. But if this is something that you do like, I think like Eminence in Shadow would be a good show for you to watch. The Trapped in a Dating Sim would be a good show for you to watch. I would say even for summer right now, if you wanted something like brand new that kind of goes down the same like weird path, The Exiled Heavy Knight knows how to game the system. But yeah, for me, I don't think there was anything about this anime that I found appealing.
Okay.
So,
all right, well, let's move on to the next one.
The next one on my list is Virgin Punk.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
So I do have some notes. The reason why I'm on my phone is because I'm looking at the scores, by the way. I'm not just ignoring everyone out there. I was under the impression that this was going to be a longer movie.
Me too, but
in my mind, it's kind of like a 1-episode OVA. It's 34 minutes, I think, around there.
I'll do the synopsis real quick. Conditions for receiving bounty. Bring the brain of a wanted criminal possessing illegal somadea to the authorities, somadea being alterations to the body. Whether the target is alive or dead is irrelevant. The year is 2099. Humanity has advanced, overcoming all injuries and illness with the development of the medical android technology somadea. However, along with the development of Somadea, crimes misusing said technology have rapidly increased. Somadea grants physical abilities far superior to that of normal flesh and blood, and by illegally modifying it, Somadea can be misused for criminal purposes. Okay, this was super awkward for me to enjoy. Did you feel that same way, Greg?
Yes.
Okay. Thank God. You get the opening where you have Ubu as a 14-year-old girl. She's in an orphanage. This other dude, Mr. Elegance, with the black suit and the blonde hair, jumps down with some girl, and the girl goes absolutely apeshit and just starts like messing with this dude that owns the orphanage and then murders the shit out of him. Just fucking kills him in front of all these kids and in a shower of bullets. It's like high action immediately. And you're like, okay, I'm interested. And then you have a throwaway line from Mr. Elegance. He's like, yeah, he was a bad guy, but I might be a bad guy, but he was a worse guy. He killed all your parents and stuff. And then Ubu, this girl with the red hair, then goes on to become a bounty hunter. She does not have any modifications up until the point where she basically gets in some weird shit and gets killed too by Mr. Elegance. He just fucking murders her, and he's like in love with her from when she was 14 and now she's 24 years later. It is like, it's super fucking creepy because then he puts her into a model version of her 14-year-old body. She struggles to like adapt, and then she's got like modifications to stop her from just insta-gibbing him because she's like fully cybernetic at this point. Like, it, dude. Greg, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you basically covered it. But notes real quick. Main character girl likes working on robots. The orphanage owner was killing parents and forcing the kids into the orphanage for a ton of money. After the bounty hunters kill the orphanage director, they want to recruit the main character girl, but she spits in the dude's face. And unfortunately, I did get a lot of Mezzo Forte vibes, and not in a good way. So Studio Shaft, they did Mezzo Forte, which is, I thought it was a decent show, aside from the very adult parts, which were unnecessary. They also did A Kite, I believe. Again, another one of those kind of 90s anime shows that was all like child girl assassin, but had a bunch of really adult parts that rocketed it into the hentai category that were unnecessary. If they just left it out, then I think those shows would have been heralded a little bit better. They did have sequels for them. I think it was like A Kite Revelations or something like that. Then you had a Mezzo Forte anime spinoff that didn't have all of the crazy adult shit in there for no fucking reason. But this director's art style is very unique. The
animation is insane.
Yeah, so the main character girl, basically how they do the faces and the eyes it's a very, very unique style, and you won't miss it. Like when I saw this announced, I was immediately like, I know exactly who that is, and I know exactly what studio this is and everything just after seeing like the poster of it. So that's good, but they do a lot of things unfortunately very well, and her spitting on the dude just reminded me of the bad parts of Mezzo Forte, I suppose, which is fine, I guess. I'm not going to hold it against this anime for that. But yes, it's very like Mezzo Forte-esque. But after that, it cuts to 10 years later, basically what DJ Montague said. Ubu, the main character girl, she's stealing bounty marks from Elegance, who was the guy that killed the orphanage director. And Maggie was the girl, like the robot girl, that was hanging out with Elegance. And she gets wrecked, and there's some weird spirit dude like lurking down an alley or something. And then Elegance blows up Ubu, so he can then recreate her as a doll and returns her to her 14-year-old self because he's a creep. Again, more weird-ass Mezzo Forte, unnecessary adult weird vibes here. And then basically she is the best assassin bounty hunter NA, but then also swears revenge on Elegance. It introduces other characters, but nothing is really developed, and it feels more like a one-episode OVA than a movie. It definitely does have that like late 90s anime feel, that late 90s animation, that very gritty, lots of guns, lots of blood, well animated. But unfortunately, to me, the whole thing seemed like half-baked. The concepts were there. Unfortunately, concepts borrowed from the other works of this director, because a lot of this stuff was very, how do you say, like, it was almost like a copy-paste. Like, a lot of the designs were the same from, like, Mezzo Forte. A lot of, like, the guns, the clothes, the characters, they all look the same. If you look up Mezzo Forte and you look at the main character, it's basically this girl, but instead of having, like, the ponytails here, she just has the short hair.
Yeah.
And the story is almost the same. Like A Kite and Mezzo Forte are the same. Like you have girl assassins doing backflips, shooting people in the face and doing all sorts of stuff. And yeah, like it was just a repeat of the same story with the same characters. So unfortunately, like I don't think it had the impact. I feel like it fell a little bit flat and it didn't have the hype around it that I felt like it should have had.
Okay.
But because you watched it, what would you give it?
I gave it a 6. I mean, the animation literally hyper carries the shit so hard into the future. But the storyline's incredibly awkward. There's a scene you just don't need. It's just unnecessary. We all know he's a pervert. We all know that he's a creep. Don't make us be the perverts too.
That's the MO of this director, though, because you have these unnecessary scenes. It was like we're having a fine show. You literally stop it and then insert this weird ass shit that has no like real bearing or anything on the story. And then we just cut back to the story and continue going.
There's a scene where she's in the bath and like you have a scene from like her chest up. You don't see any like boobs. And then all of a sudden it just zooms back and she's butt ass naked standing up. And you're like, okay, I get that she's 24, but this guy's a creep and has now put her into her 14-year-old body. We didn't need to see that. We didn't need to see that at all. Because like, I know numbers. I'm a numbers guy. That's so fucking weird, dude. That's so weird. And then later she goes to take a shower and then he goes into like the shower area and she like turns, puts her arms around herself and crouches. Like that's a very like normal reaction for that like intrusive behavior. Like why did we need to animate that?
I can't tell you.
Yeah, like I said, the fucking animation is sick as fuck. For like the fight scenes is dope. This character, Mr. Elegance, basically ruins her life and then tries to make her his slave. And he's a pervert. It's fucked, man. It's so fucked. Yeah. If the animation wasn't so dope, I wouldn't really have... Like, I enjoyed the animation. I enjoyed the fight scenes, like I said. It's just, like, all the other stuff was incredibly weird and uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Like, you didn't need the nudity. You could have just left it, and you would have been totally fine. The storyline was sick. Like, cool. We now have, like, a cyberpunk-esque side that we're looking at, you know, the criminal underworld. Like, yeah, he's a bounty hunter, but he's a monster. He's an absolute monster. Now we get to watch her, like, fucking kill him. But then you get, like, another introduction of another doll that we see later, and it's like, okay, and then we haven't even gotten anything else. We don't even have another episode announced. I'm like, like, if the animation wasn't so sick, whatever.
I agree with everything you said. I gave it a 6 as well, and I couldn't recommend it. I feel like if you want that style... Like, go watch the original Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And now we have Ghost in the Shell. Oh, so excited. It's going to absolutely shit stomp this.
But yeah, so there we go. There's that. Next on the list, Dorohedoro Season 2. And I don't know how much I'm going to be able to talk about it because I still don't know what's happening. I enjoyed the anime. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed Season 1. I did watch Season 1. I enjoyed Season 2. And the story is... Like, maybe I just didn't pay enough attention or I didn't, like, really remember Season 1 at all, admittedly. But even with that handicap, I still enjoyed the show as a whole. My notes are, I honestly don't remember much about Season 1 besides the uniqueness of the animation and trying to figure out who the main dude was with his crocodile head. And I vaguely remember something about magic, a dude that likes mushrooms, and a guy with a heart mask that hits people with hammers. I like their take on magic and sorcery and the grittiness of the world and how dying doesn't seem to be a big deal and people just get cut up. So I do remember a little bit more since I wrote those notes, but I believe Dorohedoro is set in a world where you have sorcerers and then you have normal ass people. And the sorcerers basically have all of the normal ass people in this area called the Hole that the sorcerers can freely travel to. And the regular ass people can't really do anything. They don't have any magic. And then the magic is this like black smoke that you can emit from your body, which then takes form into whatever magic that you have. Now, The original story is the Kaiman, who is the crocodile head guy in Season 1. The whole point of it is he did originally have a crocodile head. And he's like, I don't fucking know who I am. And then he befriends a bunch of people and he seems like a really cool guy. High five, just loves eating gyoza. But he's really good at fighting. He has some knives and he cuts people up and he's like super good. Now you have some other like the main like warring factions. You have N, who I think is the mushroom guy. You have his whole kingdom, and N is like the best mushroom sorcerer in like the world, and he just fucks everybody. But then you have what's called the Cross Eyes, and it's a group of normal ass people, and they're basically like sorcerer killers, and their main weapon are knives. So they run around and they have knives, and apparently you can like huff some black smoke, or yeah, that's like powdered black smoke or whatever, and it'll give you like a boost of like abilities and shit, or like enhance your magic abilities, or if you don't have magic, it'll like do something else for you. But those are like the two warring factions, and then apparently like as we go into season 2, we learn more that Kaiman is actually part of the Cross Eyes, and he didn't always have a crocodile head, and near the end it gets like pretty dark in terms of like what Kaiman actually is, and like questions on like, is he actually like real, and like all this other weird shit. And this is kind of how like season 1 ended too. Like I was pretty confused on like what the fuck is going on. I think at the end of season 1 you have the girl, the main girl he hangs out with, the blonde one that makes a gyoza. I can't remember her name. She like gets captured, and then some other shit happens, and then like they have some weird like falling out conversation.
Nikaido?
Yeah, Nikaido. Yep.
Okay.
Season 2 reveals more of the story, and I think it's interesting, but I still was lost. But even with being lost, their animation style, and yes, they do use CG in some of the fight scenes. Actually, I'll say like probably all of the fight scenes, and probably just like littered through the anime as a whole. Even the whole, maybe the whole anime is CG'd. Either way, it doesn't really matter, because the animation style that they have to me is like very unique. I think if they are using CG, they're doing it very well. I like all the characters. I like the fact that it's so like visceral. So like when people are like getting cut up, like they're straight up getting like cut up cross section wise, and you're like seeing organs and like how bodily functions are and shit. Like it's crazy. And there is like healing magic in this as well. So like that's why I say like a lot of people get cut up, but they don't necessarily die. They just get like fucked up, but then are able to kind of get put back together. So just the whole uniqueness of the show, like I don't think there's like a lot of shows like this if you're looking for that more like, I don't want to say it's not like ultra violent. It's not like a Korean horror movie or something like that type of violence. But I guess if you're not ready for it, like it can be pretty surprising.
Okay.
I would say kind of like Elfen Lied-ish violence,
Okay.
but not as like
permanent.
Yeah, permanent and like feeling of like helplessness, where they're not like always just killing like innocent people with their invisible tentacles and cutting them in half. The people are like fighting back, and they have like a fighting chance, and it's pretty nuts. But I do like it a lot, the style, specifically the world, how they picture the magic, where it's not just like everyone's throwing fireballs and shit. Like N is like a mushroom guy. He like literally exhales and just turns everything into mushrooms, and if you touch it, like your leg will turn into a mushroom. Like all sorts of like crazy ass shit. Everyone has crazy powers, shit I've never seen in like really any medium, which makes it like so unique to me. But I did give it a 7, and that's probably because of me, because I don't understand the show. And what I was reading, a lot of people said that it is very confusing, and obviously in the manga you do get a little bit more information because of how much more they're able to put in versus the anime, but it still is supposed to kind of be that jarring wild ride of like what is actually going on here. But it's good. Yeah, if you want something completely different and you do not mind that level of visceral gore, but it like people aren't actually dying, then I think this is something you should take a look at. I think it's very unique.
Absolutely insane. Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
Animation wise, it seems like something I'd definitely like check out, just because it's crazy and like completely off the wall. But as long as the storyline's good, I mean,
yeah, the storyline is good, and especially like season 2, they kind of like really pull back the covers of what is starting to go on, and it's pretty crazy. And I have a feeling of what is going to happen in the future. And I guess I'd be kind of sad if that is what ended up happening. I'll reserve judgment until we see more.
It seems like a more visceral Gachiakuta.
Yeah. And instead of like trying to get back up to the sphere, you're trying to figure out this guy's identity and what's going on. But
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I believe season 3 was announced. Next one on the list is Snowball Earth. And Snowball Earth, I don't really have too many notes about this one, but basically it reminds me of Big Hero 6, if everyone knows what that is. It's a boy and his robot, and basically our main character guy is shitty at everything social. He doesn't know how to talk to people. He's really bad at it. What he's good at is cutting up monsters. So pretty much the Earth is being invaded by kaiju. So it starts out to be kind of the standard kaiju story. Kaijus come, military isn't as effective. Then you have the savior boy pilot in his robot going around cutting up monsters, saving the day. It fast forwards and there's like a giant horde of kaiju coming from space. So they send out like a galactic cruiser along with our savior guy to cull the horde before it hits Earth. But someone sabotaged the cruiser. The cruiser's main weapons are non-functioning. Cruiser gets fucking rickety rolled by kaiju. Our boy and his robot do their best to cull the horde, but alas, they cannot. Robot ejects boy, lands back on Earth, and Earth is now a frozen wasteland, not many humans to be found, and kaiju everywhere. So basically, like the fight for Earth was lost.
Okay.
Now, it's not as like happy-go-lucky as Big Hero 6. Actually, lots of kaiju gore, very detailed amounts of kaiju gore, and a lot of people dying. And it was like a breath of fresh air, actually. I thought this was just going to kind of be another shonen. The animation is, I think it's like all CG. It's pretty
it looks like
CG.
99%.
But I didn't mind it. The CG was smooth. It was good. No issues with the animation at all. I would say it's actually really good.
Okay.
And it goes, once he gets back, he finds a group of humans and is still ultra super socially awkward, but then now he's breaking out of his shell. He helps them by like saving them from a kaiju, and we see that how humans have survived is by actually harvesting kaiju and eating kaiju for sustenance. And we find out that eating kaiju flesh, some people can't take it and they die, but then some people eat it and then they are connected with the kaiju, so now they can kind of control a kaiju. So now you basically have your own kaiju Pokemon that hangs out with you. We have different antagonists. We find out that the world was frozen by this human-looking kaiju that literally sent the world into a deep freeze, and that's kind of like the main antagonist. But what season 1 focused on was this X group of military guys that were kind of part of the same group as the main character. And then the one guy was like, I want to be the savior. Why is it this kid? Like, I'm going to fucking make everyone think I'm fucking awesome. And then he was part of the whole disaster of the intergalactic cruiser getting blown up and shit, because he wanted to basically fuck up the main character so now he can take the savior title. But then he finds out that the main character is alive, and then they have this whole thing going on. And then the main antagonist shows up, and we see kind of the setup for what season 2 would be.
Okay. Is it announced that there will be a season 2?
Snowball Earth season 2 is announced.
Okay.
But I thought it was really good. Going into it, I thought it was just going to be a regular ass shonen and I was going to hate it. But it did have some really good elements, and the violence was definitely a plus.
Cool. What'd you give it?
I would definitely recommend it. I think it's very good. I gave it an 8.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay.
And yeah, I don't know what necessarily it's similar to. Maybe like Kaiju number 8. It's similar to that to a certain extent, but it has like a little bit of that kind of like shonen charm, but it's not completely like leaning into it.
Okay.
The main character is a little bit more believable in the things that he does, because basically like his stat points are all allocated to kaiju killing and not allocated to talking to people. So he's like ultra awkward, but he's working through it and he's trying his best. And his robot guy is like, you got this, man. Like, we'll do this together.
Adorable. Love it.
So like you have that adorable Big Hero 6 style, but then also you have all of the violence that comes along with kaijus eating people and a robot cutting kaijus up.
Hell yeah. It seems like I'd enjoy it.
I think you would.
I need to watch Dorohedoro, and I want to watch Snowball Earth. Damn, there's too much to watch. Go ahead, Greg. What's next?
But next up on the list is Marika's LoveMeter Malfunction.
Okay.
So this one is, again, I think one of those manga advertisement animes. This was an 8-episode series, about 5 minutes apiece. And basically what happens is you got this boy, you have his childhood friend, which is the girl with the brown hair, and they see a shooting star, and he makes the wish that he wishes he could see how girls feel about him, basically. He wakes up next day, and now he can see these love meters that are next to all of the girls. But Marika's love meter is always like fucking ooze purple and like broken and shit. So in his mind, he thinks that, oh, she must fucking hate him. But in reality, it's broken because she likes him so much is what happens. But then he has an interaction with all of the girls in the poster there. And then it's basically just like a super silly 5-minute rom-com. He does something that all the girls like because now that he sees like the love meter, he can say something, see the reaction, say something different, see if it goes up/down. And then, eventually he maxes out all of the meters. And then now at the end, all of the girls are fighting over him and silliness ensues. And it's funny, I suppose. I didn't think it was that bad. I guess you have to go in knowing what it is. I didn't know what it was when I first went into it. I didn't dislike it. I mean, more or less, it's a super quick one-shot harem-style rom-com that has a bunch of comedy elements. And I chuckled a few times at it. Was it the best thing I've ever seen? No. But I didn't think it was like the worst. There's really not too much to like say about it because it was so short.
Yeah, it seems like it's like fucking 1 minute and 20 seconds, they said on YouTube. What the fuck?
No, they're longer than that. They're like 5 minutes. But again, it's kind of one of those things that it's like, yeah, I think this is trying to sell manga volumes, not necessarily like be an anime.
Okay.
But no, I gave it a 5. It's just kind of like whatever. Probably because of the short episodes, short run time of it. And yeah, I just thought it was silly. If you like rom-coms and you like harems, I think you would enjoy it. Give it a watch. It's literally going to take 40 minutes.
You like those things. Don't sell yourself short.
I do like I like these stupid love things. I do like them. I find them entertaining. Yeah, right. I think it's silly. And if you like it, maybe go check out the manga because I think that's the whole point that the anime was released for.
Okay.
I don't think you would like this, by the way.
Okay. What'd you give it, Greg?
5.
Okay. Next one?
Next on the list is ReZero Season 4. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because I have talked about ReZero and
it's
kind of
9.18, Greg.
Yeah, I'm the outlier. And I've said it multiple times here. Like, this anime is not for me. I'm the outlier in the situation here. I am the minority. I don't think my criticisms are unjust. I still feel like that ReZero doesn't do a good job of explaining what is going on. I feel like you need to be invested in the light novels and the manga and doing research outside of like the anime. Like if you are so inclined that this anime appeals to you so much and you want to learn more about it, like more power to you. And I'm sure the more information that you have, the more enjoyable that the anime is. Now, I don't want to take it away from everyone that likes ReZero. And from the forum posts and everything that I read, a lot of the people that do like ReZero are invested in it. They do read the light novels. They do read the manga. They do know about astrology, constellations, different parts of history when it comes to that sort of thing. I don't know anything about that stuff, which is probably why I'm at a disadvantage. I'm at another disadvantage because I can't read. So I'm just an anime-only watcher. And all of those disadvantages are compounding, really. And unfortunately, I cannot get the enjoyment out of ReZero that a lot of other people get. Season 4, if you want me to like summarize it super quick, Subaru is still doing Subaru stuff. They're going to some desert, to some tower to find some information on some shit. And yeah, you have the ragtag group of people that are with him. And yeah, he basically goes into some library with a bunch of books. And when people die, basically a book is created. for them because it's like it holds their memories or something. And then he went in there and like read a book, and then now it's going crazy. And since he has his whole return from death, that's his like quote unquote power, right? He has no other powers aside from that. So when he dies, he basically returns to like the last quote unquote save point that he was at before he died. So he has to like constantly trial and error experiences, and then he dies in ridiculous, crazy ways. And then it obviously affects him emotionally because he's constantly dying.
Do they know about this by this point? Does his group know about his death thing at this point?
No. And that's like the thing. He wants to tell them, and in the other seasons he wanted to tell them, but you know, whatever 7 deadly sins witch is taking advantage of him isn't allowing him to like tell them what the thing is. Yeah, there's a lot about the anime I don't understand, right? I'm not going to harp on it too much or get too far into it. For me, just like the base of the anime, I don't understand. I guess it's kind of nice in this season. We got some throwbacks to season 1 when he first got isekai'd, the interaction with his family and his parents before he got isekai'd. I think it's assumed that he died in real life and got isekai'd to this world. He has a lot of guilt and a lot of regrets for how he lived in real life. And they revisit that here in season 4, which I thought was cool. But yeah, there's still just a lot of things I don't understand. I don't want to say unanswered, because probably if you read all of the material, if you watched all of the extra bonus OVAs and bonus material, you would have more information on this. But just me personally, I'm not really willing to do that. So yeah, unpopular rating for me that probably will make everyone mad, but I hope that my explanation here of why the things are the way that they are.
No, you've infuriated everybody. Greg, what'd you score it?
Yeah, it's fine.
3.
Let's see.
Get ready, guys.
Oh, sorry, I didn't even score yet because it's not done. They only went through episodes 1 through 11. Yeah, they went through 1 through 11, so I haven't even finished it. I think it's like 19 episodes or something like that.
Yes.
But I'm sure it's not going to get any higher than another season that I watched, so I'll just give you what my season 3 rating was, and it's a 4.
Okay. All right.
After this season,
dude, every time you talk about ReZero, I want to know why you hate it so much, because why does everybody love it and why do you hate it? And it's the answer. I mean, that's why, because of like the extra content. And we've talked about it a million times. But
yeah, I think when I first watched it, I was more angry than I am now. And after like 4 seasons of it being rated like high 8s, low 9s, I have determined I'm missing something. And that's what it is. I'm not willing to put in the work.
ReZero in 4 minutes. Yeah, okay.
So for me, ReZero, after this season, after I finish up season 4, like this is going to be a drop for me, because I'm not just going to keep giving like low scores to this anime because I don't understand what's going on. And I already have the answer to why I don't. So I think it's unfair for me to continue to watch the series and rate it so poorly, because I myself am not willing to invest the time to learn more about it. And that is what it takes to actually enjoy the show.
All right.
Next up here is the Warrior Princess and the Barbaric King.
We did talk about this at some point.
Yes. Okay, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I think my notes will cover this pretty quick. My notes here are some weird dating sim visual novel or something, misunderstanding of the West versus East barbarians and Stockholm syndrome, and the West is worried about nobles and wealth and stuff and the roles of women, while the East barbarians are worried about living together and treating nature with respect and shit. Last note is Barbarian Man has a giant golden fucking wiener.
Sorry?
How this story goes. You have the main chick. She's like the best knight of the kingdom. They're launching these campaigns towards the east to defeat these barbarians because they want to take more land, because the kingdom's land is all like ravaged and shit. They can like barely survive and like farm, and water is scarce and everything, right? So they're just trying to expand basically so they can survive, more or less. So they get into a big battle. She gets I don't want to say, I guess she gets defeated. Yeah, she gets beat they kind of like go over it later on in the series or whatever, how she like wasn't beat. It was like, you know, oh, her like willpower to fight was stronger, but her equipment couldn't take it. So her equipment broke and that's why she lost. So she didn't really lose because her heart is bigger or some bullshit, whatever. But basically she gets defeated. She gets taken back to the Barbarian Kingdom and they treat her really nice and stuff, right? They're like, oh yeah, you know, super nice lady. That guy right there, he's like, I want to marry you. And she's like, fuck that. You're a barbarian. I'm from the West. Like, you're a barbarian. I'm from the West. Did I mention you're a barbarian? I'm from the West. So then, yeah, basically they just kind of, she's there. And it's almost like a Last Samurai thing or like a Last of the Mohican style story where now she's kind of learning how they live. She's learning, you know, their culture and all this stuff, right? And then she's
fucking
like,
Khal Drogo, Game of Thrones, dude.
yeah, and then she's like, oh yeah, why do you guys have such lush forests and so many animals and so much water and all of these luxuries that we don't have in the West? And they're like, look at us. We hang out with fairies and we hang out with treants and we hang out with dwarves and we hang out with all of this stuff. And then, you know, she's just learning their culture throughout the whole series basically, while this guy basically wants to marry her. I think the first episode at the very end, she like passed out and then he like was sleeping next to her and then he rolled over naked and the blanket fell off of his wiener and it just shot through the roof and she's like, oh my lord, look at how big that guy's wiener is. And then later on when we hit the dwarf part and they're like, oh yeah, let's go take a onsen bath in the dwarf onsens, and then she's like, oh, I fell into the boys side, and he's like, what? And his wiener just grows again and it's like, cool. So it is kind of like, I don't know, it's super weird, dude. I think this is aimed not at me. This is aimed at...
This is
like,
probably aimed at, you
like
know...
the female
adult
identifying.
And
yeah. And yeah, I don't think they did a good job, really, because I still feel like she like Stockholm Syndrome into this thing.
Yes.
They do address it where at the end she's basically like, yes, I do want to marry you, but before I do that, I want to go back to my kingdom and tell them what happened and be like, hey, instead of trying to conquer everything, why don't we all try to work together because, you know, we can share knowledge and stuff. And if we just join hands, we'll all be successful versus us having to kill each other and like, you know, one win, one loses sort of thing. Animation was okay. Kind of lacked in most of the action parts.
Okay.
But it wasn't like unpleasant to look at.
I mean, the action's not the main part of it, right?
No, it is like this weird Stockholm rom-com thing. Okay. And then, yeah, they find out that like the main knight before her also was captured in a battle and they thought she died, but then actually she's the mom of the barbarian guy. So she's actually defected for whatever 20 years or something like that and living with the barbarians. So basically everyone's just moving in with the barbarians because the West sucks. And it's a really weird like dynamic. I feel like it's very like messy and unrealistic in the sense that like, yeah, they had the message of like, oh yeah, you got to find your own happiness. You don't always have to like follow the rules and blah, blah, blah. And this guy is a giant wiener. Did we not show it enough? Here, see it again. And then his wiener just grows into a giant golden shaft that everyone gets to see.
We don't have to continue talking about his wiener. I mean, we could just, you know.
Yeah, really weird. Anyway, I didn't enjoy it. Not for me.
Okay.
I gave it a 5. It was, you know, kind of whatever. Would I recommend it? No, I don't think that this is good. Unless you're into kind of those, for lack of a better word, so excuse my lack of knowledge in terms of the book world. But if you're kind of into that like sappy smut book style reading, then I think you would enjoy something like this. I don't know what else to compare it to anime wise. I wouldn't even call it, it's not even like a reverse harem. You know, it's not like she has a harem of guys or anything like that. Yeah. It is, I don't know. Very, very weird. Not my thing. Okay. Don't recommend. Give it a 5.
Onward we go.
Next, we go to YowaYowa Sensei.
Found it. Okay.
So, this anime is, I think this would be this, like, to me, this is a Gooner anime.
Yeah, it seems Goonorific. I'm not going to show you guys the trailer.
No,
sorry.
You shouldn't. Basically, what it is, you have a high school student guy. He's basically laid low his whole life He just wants to get through school, not make any waves, not get any attention. But then their new teacher comes in, the silver-haired one in the middle, and everyone's scared of her. Everyone thinks that she, is like cursed and like casting spells and is just a very scary teacher. So this anime is about misunderstanding, but in reality, the teacher is just really shitty at everything and she's weak. And for some reason, the main character boy is like, I want to help her out. And I mean, it's because I want to help her out because my wiener spider sense is telling me something. And he becomes class president so he can basically help her. And then a bunch of ridiculous scenarios ensue where she constantly falls on him and stuff pops out and you see things. And
is it super ecchi?
Oh, yeah, like extreme. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, then you get like other girls in the mix or whatever, and more crazy, silly interactions happen. You kind of get like a love triangle-ish thing going on too, and his sister is really, really weird too. I didn't dislike it, I'll say that, but I think like this is too far on the
too goon for me, brother.
Scale for me. If you're into heavy, ecchi, goonerific rom-coms, then I think you would like this. There's not really too much to say else about it, because even at the end, there wasn't really any closure. It's not like the guy got the teacher. It's not like he confessed any love to anybody or anything like that. So it was just kind of like a series of unfortunate events that you got to witness firsthand, and I gave it a 5.
All right. Onward we go. We don't have to talk about this one anymore.
No. Fist of the North Star. Hokuto no Ken. Fist of the North Star. 2026 version, not the 1984 version or whatever.
Yes, sir. I saw the trailer of this. It made me fucking angry.
Now, I'm going to give it to this anime. I'm going to give this anime the benefit of the doubt. I don't feel like the story changed. No. I feel like this is the story of Fist of the North Star, even the old one. It's the same one. I believe this is a remake of the original one. So nothing has really changed. I think they said it covers whichever chapters within the manga. It has the same animation style as like the 2017 Berserk. Basically, nuclear war destroys the world, turns into Mad Max, and Ken, the main character, is basically Bruce Lee. That's all you need to know. From there, he just walks around and stabs people's chakra points and their heads explode. The original arc was, and the reason why Ken was the way that he is because he had his fiance, Yulia, I believe her name was, and then his boy with the blonde hair, I can't remember his name, basically was like, you got what I want. And then he's like, no, that's my girl. And he's like, it's my girl now. And then he takes the girl from him. And then he's just been on this quest ever since to get his girl back. Later on, we find out that she actually died. She jumped off of the tower that Shin made her. And then she's dead. And then he had a doll of her. And then Ken finds out after he kills Shin. Then now he has like nothing to live for, basically. But then he has the 2 kids. He has Bat and the little girl. Can't remember her name. And yeah, they just go on Scooby-Doo crazy adventures of finding gigantic tribes of barbarians that are literally super mutants from Fallout 4. And they're just fucking on poor civilians trying to make ends meet. And then Ken comes and blows up all their heads. And that's like the first arc, I guess, is the Shin arc, the Yulia Shin arc here. And then after this arc, it goes into the second arc where you're introduced to another like master martial art user who I also can't remember his name, but he looks exactly like Ken. And they go to save a village from another hot girl that looks exactly like his fiancée, Mamiya.
It's not Jaggy, is it?
I don't know. But then, yeah, you have Mamiya, who's the girl with the fucking knife yo-yos. And then the other dude that looks just like Shin, or Ken, but with long hair. He's trying to find his sister because his sister got captured, and then he finds her, and then they fight and blow up people's heads, and that's it. Fist of the North Star. So you watch Fist of the North Star specifically for the entertainment value of Shin punching some dude, them saying like, oh, what the hell was that? And then him saying, you're already dead. And then he walks away into the sunset while they explode into a giant volcano of blood. And then he helps a kid.
It is Fist of the North Star. That is exactly what Fist of the North Star is, and Greg has 100% nailed it.
Because I remember Fist of the North Star when I was a kid, and I just like the entertainment value of him like going what for like 6 minutes, and then someone being like, "What was that?"
They
and
do
then
have
explode.
Jaggy in here. Okay, so yes, Kenshiro. Jaggy looks like Kenshiro, and he's like,
oh no, so they introduced him at the very end, so they didn't go into that arc yet. They set it up.
okay, so Ray is the other one that looks similar to Kenshiro.
Yes,
but I thought
yeah.
he was Ray and Toki are like homies.
So it's like cool. It is Fist of the North Star, and yeah, there is some nostalgia to it. The story persists. I don't want to say that this Fist of the North Star is worse than the original predecessor, because the story is the exact same. The characters are the same. The only thing I feel like changed is the weird animation, which I'm not a fan of.
I don't like this at all.
So even with the nostalgia piece of Fist of the North Star, looking at it with fresh, mature eyes, I realize how stupid this anime is, how ridiculous the plot points are, and it's bad because this guy can literally teleport behind you, nothing personnel kid, and blow your head up by hitting your 19 million chakra points. But then like simple things he can't do. And it's really like weird and it's silly. Fist of the North Star. I give it a 4. Would I recommend it? No, I would not, even with the nostalgia behind it. I think maybe you should watch a handful of episodes just for the cultural relevance of Fist of the North Star. So when someone does like turn around and say you're already dead, you know where it's coming from and how ridiculous it is. Yeah. Other than that, you're not missing too much here.
You have 1 minute. But you could always go back and watch Evo Japan's Hokuto no Ken Top 8, which is far superior. I did watch it.
Yeah, those combos are ridiculous.
Oh, dude, that game, I mean, did you ever play it back in the day?
No, I didn't.
Oh, fuck, dude. So, made by the same team that did Guilty Gear. Okay, here's what happened. Guilty Gear got hella popular in Japan, and like all these companies came to Arc System Works and were like, can you make us a fighting game? Sengoku Basara Cross, Hokuto no Ken, they wanted to work on Blaze Blue. They had, I think, like 7 different fighting games that they worked on come out within like 2 years of each other. And all of them are so broken. It's like, some of them are unplayable. Sengoku Basara Cross was like nearly unplayable because of the infinites. But in Japan, like, they didn't have anything like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, so, like, these games became popular in Japan because it's, like, one-touch KOs. And then you have to, like, execute, and it was fun. Hokuto no Ken went so far beyond broken that it loops back around to being dope as fuck. Because it's essentially what Hokuto no Ken is.
Yes.
Is, like, if I get the opening, you have lost, and that is it. All it is me executing the combo. But the combos in Hokuto no Ken are like fucking insane. The way this game works is it like pushes you further back away when you're doing combos so that infinites wouldn't exist. And then off the ground, it was like, oh, we'll bounce them to a point where they can't be hit anymore. So you basically break the game's coding by bouncing people off the ground, and you'll see he starts like going into the sky every time he's hit. And it's like, it's so fucking ridiculous. This game is so wild to me. How this got made, I'll never know. And this is like a 70-second combo that is happening because fucking Hokuto no Ken, baby. And everybody has the availability to do this, almost, except Kenshiro. Kenshiro is one of the worst characters in the game. Anyways, onward. What's next, Greg?
Next up is Ichijouma Mankitsugurashi. This is some weird slice of life anime where the main girl goes to, she's like a country girl. She gets a scholarship to go to like, you know, like a cool school in the city. And the whole point of it is she was accepted for the scholarship because she is confused for a popular manga artist that has the same name. So now the dorm is owned by the girl with the bow in her hair, the brown hair one or whatever. Her mom is just rich and literally owns the world. So she just opened a manga cafe just to house all of their manga. And then now the other girls, one of them is the silver hair girl is a competitive fighting game player. The blonde hair girl is a popular YouTube streamer. And then our main girl, who is the blue hair girl, is just a country bumpkin that is trying to go to school and send money back home to her family. So you just have a bunch of episodes where the girls basically just do slice of life stuff. They have their own little arcs. Some other girls are introduced, doesn't really matter. We find out at the end that the main girl's sister is actually the manga artist, and she used her sister's name as a pen name versus her own name, and that's where the confusion came about. But since the main girl was so hardworking and helped all the other girls, water under the bridge, and we'll just keep hanging out and having a good time.
Best friends forever.
That's the anime.
Okay.
I gave it a 5. It's definitely not my style. It is just kind of like just a bunch of ridiculous short stories that link together. And yeah, I don't know. It's basically just, if you're super rich, you can do anything you want in the world is basically the message here, and make some friends and hang out.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, you're right. You're right, buddy. What's next, Greg?
Yeah, I actually wish I had a little bit more to say.
I don't think I'm
about
going to
it.
watch this. I'll be real with you.
Definitely not. I don't even necessarily know what to compare it to either.
Like a worse Zenshu? I didn't think Zenshu was stupendous, but...
No, but Zenshu wasn't slice of life, though.
Yeah. No, I can't really.
Yeah, okay. I'll just move on from that. Next up is Trapped in a Dating Sim. The world of Otome games is tough for mobs like me. Season 1, 2022. I watched this because the second season of this anime is coming out now in summer 2026. So I was watching it in preparation for that. I want to say maybe someone recommended this to me. They said I might like it. I'm sorry for whoever recommended it to me. I hated it. I didn't like this at all. It was hard for me to watch, hard for me to get through. At times, I wanted to skip forward and rush the process a bit, but I did not, and I was punished for it. So basically, the idea is the guy is isekai. Apparently, he was like a nobody loser in real life. His sister blackmailed him into playing this dating sim game and 100%ing it because she didn't want to go through the work and do it. I forgot how he got blackmailed, but after he played the game so long, he went down to the convenience store to go get something to eat, but then he fell down the stairs and now he's dead, and he is isekai'd into the dating sim world that he hates so much. This to me is Eminence in Shadow, or my gift level 99999 ultimate gotcha, or Failure Frame, or insert main character that is pretentious and just wants to disappear into the background, but then is doing stuff in the foreground anyway, and that's what it is. Animation not good, characters not good, story is terrible, character development is 0. I didn't enjoy it very much. I don't think there's much unique about it. I'm not sure what else to say.
You gonna watch season 2, dude? Or I feel bad already.
I have to, unfortunately.
Oh, Greg, you carry this burden with such gusto.
Yeah, it's not,
poor guy.
It's not good. But some people like these, right? They're just not for me.
Course.
And this is just a standard isekai, overpowered guy, super pretentious. Everyone hates him. Everyone shits on him. They say he's a piece of shit, but then he goes around and saves everyone. And then he's the guy when you play like Baldur's Gate or Fallout or Skyrim, where, you know, you go and you help someone in need and the conversation options are like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. Like, I just do what's right. Or, oh, hey, hopefully someday you can pay it forward and be a good guy. Or the third option, which is like, fuck you, give me all your money. I deserve a reward. That's what this show is.
In my many years on this earth, I have played a dating sim or two, and I hate 95% of the storylines. And I feel like getting isekai'd into one would be my nightmare.
Would you consider Baldur's Gate a dating sim? Would you consider Mass Effect a dating sim?
No, I guess not.
But it kind of is, though, right?
It kind of is, yes. I wouldn't put it as my number one classification.
Yeah.
It's like saying, like, is Cyberpunk a dating sim, Greg?
It has
You're
elements.
like,
It has
be.
elements. It has
It's
elements.
got
100%.
some dating elements. Yeah.
So, Fallout. It has
Fallout dating
elements.
sim. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, this definitely wasn't for me. I gave it a 3. I do not recommend. But again, if you do like Eminence and Shadow, you do like level 99999 gotcha backshotted in a backwater dungeon backdoored, you might like this. And they have a season 2 coming out this season. Cool. So give it a shot. Take a look. Maybe you are a better man than I. You would hate this, by the way.
Oh, I know I would. It's literally my nightmare.
All right. Next up is, do you like big girls?
Oh my God. Greg, half of the shit you watched this season was fucking ecchi shit. What happened? Who fucking recommended all this ecchi ass shit to you, Greg?
I get recommendations thrown at me, and I would be remiss if I did not give them a shot.
Right. So should I start recommending like normal shit to you so you could fucking get back on the path of the light, I guess?
I walk the path in between light and darkness. The path that not many tread.
Right, I agree.
Do I come out unscathed? I don't know yet.
No,
I'm sure there is a price Greg, that I pay.
Yeah. In your day-to-day life, do you come out unscathed? No, you have the memories of viewing these horrific animes. Not actually horror-inducing, but like, I'm sure like at some point you've been in a grocery store and you're like, do you like big girls? Ah, fuck, God damn it. I came here for pasta.
Yeah. How did I leave with 2 watermelons? I came here for pasta. I don't know what's going on. Okay, here we go. Long story short, this is a wannabe massage anime with less depth and is worse. Again, this is a short anime. Episodes are 5 minutes about. Apparently, like, that's the trend now for these style animes, where I think they just want you to buy the manga.
Yeah, it's manga bait. Yeah, I can see it. I mean, that's a great idea. Let's be real. Like, how do you get like easily accessible shows to the mass public without forcing somebody to go buy it or actively pursue manga? People like watching animation, so I don't know.
Yeah, so basically how it works, you have the boy down at the bottom of that poster. He is the volleyball general manager. All the girls are volleyball players. So when they say, do you like big girls? They are talking about tall girls that play volleyball. And basically, he just bangs all of them. The end.
Cool. Thick.
It's not good.
No, I didn't assume it was, Greg. Is that his sister?
Yes. Just remember what I said a second ago.
I know.
Yeah, on the app, apparently I can't like look at this, so I don't think I even gave it a score, but I can give you one off the top of my head.
Is it a 1?
Maybe like a 3. Okay. If this is something that you would like to indulge in, I would honestly watch some hentai, dude. No, I would honestly give you the recommendation of the massage anime. I think it does a way better job. More character development, actual real.
You know who made us or made you watch this? Not us, because I haven't seen it, but Saiga.
Oh, he recommended to me. This is one of his top picks. If you want to like get out of the realm of like complete depravity, check out Change Soldier.
Cool.
Anyway, moving on. I watched Spirit Warrior, Peacock King. 1994.
Okay. Oh, this looks like fucking Ninja Scroll.
That is originally why I had it on my watch list for so long. I never got around to it until literally this season or last season. Mm-hmm. Notes, the original had 3 OVAs between 1988 and 1991 and adapted the manga, but supposedly had some really disconnected directing. So this one, the 1994 one, is a reboot and it's only 2 OVAs. So I do like this era of anime, I will say. This late 90s era of anime, the Ninja Scrolls, the Basilisks, the styling of it. I don't know. Maybe it's a nostalgia thing. Who knows? I did watch Akira with a younger gentleman friend of mine. And I'm like, dude, you've never seen this? You gotta see it. Like fucking a lot of animes draw inspiration from Akira.
Yeah.
There are memes on Instagram where Tetsuo, where he's holding his head and he's like, oh, get out of my head. And there's memes on Instagram about it, but obviously they insert like, you know, ridiculous thing here inside of there. But then, yeah, like mainly he's just kind of like, the animation just looks so old. Just looks old. I don't like the animation. It's old. But then even for Akira, which is, when did it come out? It came out like 40 years ago.
86.
Yeah, that animation has stood the test of time.
88, sorry.
I know it's not like a Demon Slayer. I know it's not a JJK, but from 1988, like that animation is fucking wild, even in my opinion to this day.
Insane, dude. It's such a beautiful experience.
The whole industry agrees because so many animes and directors and everyone has taken inspiration from Akira to really kind of propel it into the legendary category, almost like Neo Genesis Evangelion too. Like so much inspiration has been taken from those animes. Even though I personally didn't like it, I still, for cultural relevance, I feel like some of this stuff is you should watch because you will understand other animes better because of it. I do have a soft spot for this era of anime, and I do like the OVA format. I do like the shorter series. I do like the idea that they have to fit all of the story into these compact anime viewing experiences, and I just don't feel like we get that much anymore with the current landscape of how anime is, right? It's always like the 12 episode, 24 episode, multiple core. They kind of have like that freedom of being able to extend the story out and not give that closure and not finish up the story because you can just keep fucking releasing shit. When these smaller studios and directors and animators back then, it was like, this was the only way to get your media out into the public was to release a straight to video fucking thing and hope someone buys it in a store somewhere and then they fall in love with it. But basically, Spirit Warrior, Nazis are trying to drive the world into darkness by stealing some dragon orb. Two twins born on Darkness Day will bring the darkness back, so we're going to kill them. But the sister went missing and the brother is still alive as the main character, Guy, who had his memories sealed and has been filled with light instead of darkness. Nazis steal dragon orb from some monk dudes, and now brother has to go get it and save the world. Sister was abandoned, and then the main dude saved her and their memories return, and sister goes crazy because she was abandoned and turns to darkness. But then this other dude from the beginning of the show is basically like the main character now, but not. Kind of confusing. That dude gets absorbed or something, and brother Guy goes and gets his soul taken to the underworld, but gets back and now has to defeat his sister, and they basically have a giant spirit Gundam battle, and they die together to end the battle of darkness and light, and then that's how it ends. It was kind of I saw the vision, I'll say that. I saw what they were going for. I can see why it was remade. I feel like they should remake it again.
Yeah. Does it have the cultural relevance of like something like an Akira, right?
No,
you know what I mean?
It does not.
And
it
that's always the issue.
Does not.
Is that it doesn't have the financial incentive, doesn't have the passion.
I feel like it had the passion. I just feel like it was either like poor directing or either like timeline or speed at which they had to release it. If they had maybe, like more financial budget to be able to maybe make some more OVAs, split up the story a little bit more so they can get more information into there, it would have been better. But yeah, I think for the time, the animation was good, but the story and the characters were a little bit disjointed. I think they wanted to do a little bit more, and maybe they bit off more than they can chew to fit into the story that they had. It's a 5. I usually give a little bit of leeway to movies and OVAs because of how much story they have to shove into like a smaller time slot versus like new anime that is coming out now where I feel like they just have unlimited time and budget and just can fucking do whatever they want. But no, I don't think I would recommend Spirit Warrior. I think if you wanted to get into this era of anime, I think definitely Ninja Scroll, Akira. I would even like stretch it out a little bit, like hit Redline, hit Jinro the Wolf Brigade. I think those are like really good. If you want to get into like the older style of anime, and I feel like those ones, like they do have a bit more cultural relevance. Probably Ninja Scroll, Akira, Redline a little bit more than the others.
I would like to see a lot of them get remade because usually they did focus on a lot more storyline and action, and it wasn't like the isekai stuff that we're watching now where it's like 500 different isekais come out. But I would like to see them take the enjoyment and the passion of something like Ron Mahaf and go forward now with more stuff from our childhood that was really good, and see if it holds. A lot of them do hold the test of time.
Yeah.
You know, they are good.
To add to that list, if anyone wants to check out older anime, Venus Wars. Venus Wars came out a year after Akira, and it's kind of the same story. So I always compare it to like The Matrix versus what's the one with Christian Bale? Clerics. Equilibrium. So I always compare it to Matrix and Equilibrium because I feel like Equilibrium kind of got swept under the rug because it came out around the same time as The Matrix. And then The Matrix just took off running, right? And everyone kind of forgot it was there. I feel like Venus Wars is the same with Akira. They both came out around the same time, but Akira like was such a big hit. Venus Wars kind of got swept under the rug. Armitage. I like Armitage a lot. That was one that I watched when I was younger, but watch I think it's Polymatrix. Don't watch Dual Matrix. That one was not good. But I think if you wanted to watch it and see how the influence of current culture reflects kind of how the animes are, then I think it's a good like research piece. Don't watch it necessarily like for entertainment, but just kind of like when Dual Matrix came out, that's when ice skating was like really big, where like everyone was like into ice skating. Tanya Harding, all of like the big names, and everyone like was just glued to the TVs on that shit. And Dual Matrix just turns into some weird like ice skating anime, which doesn't really hold up to its predecessor of Polymatrix, and it kind of embarrasses itself. Even the original Ghost in the Shell movie, the 1995 one, like that one's I still think is one of those like masterpiece style animes where yes, it is slow. It does have a lot of atmospheric shots, but then you're getting a lot of the story and the environment and even like the feelings of the characters and like why they're doing what they're doing just from the visuals that they're showing you along with like the music and stuff too. I just feel like it was like a different era of storytelling back in the late 90s versus today, where it's a little bit more like action oriented, a little more dopamine, get a bunch of shit on the screen and blow everybody's mind. Simpler times, I would say.
I'd agree. And I think that it's very apparent that these old OVAs and these old movies and these old shows, they do stand the test of time. They have a very different style of storytelling through their action because you had to do so much storytelling because the action wasn't exactly fucking insane. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these were passion projects and then they turned into a global phenomena because of the passion behind it. And now I think we get a lot of slop, and it's the same thing with Marvel movies. You could go back and watch the original Marvel movies if you want to equate that to now and see why it was $1 billion industry. It was really cool to see these comics come to the silver screen and see like the storylines. They were cool. Yeah, there was a lot of flashing lights, but the remakes of these storylines were great. And the liberties that they took to bring it to the mass audience, it was great. And now it feels like it's gone the direction of like, dude, they have to put out a Marvel movie every year, and there's a TV show, there's 12, 15 TV shows, and it's just like, if you don't follow all the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like, I just want to throw up, dude. I don't care.
I feel like back then in like the late 90s, I know a lot of like the big thing is like, oh man, look at MAPPA. Like they just shit all over their animators. They work them to the bone and don't pay them anything. But I feel like back in the 90s, like everyone did that anyway, but they did it because they loved their project. Like this was their passion. They weren't necessarily like chained to their desks and forced to like work and get underpaid and everything. They did it not because they were trying to make money. They did it because they wanted to tell this story. And then
culture on top of that too. Obviously we know that Japanese culture has like a very hard work culture as well, and that probably had a lot to do with it. Go continue, Greg. Sorry.
But I mean, I feel like you can feel like the passion behind this stuff. And you also have to remember a lot of the older like late 90s anime, like the technology that we have now like wasn't there. Like this is all animated. So anything that you see in like Akira, Ghost in the Shell, like that was all hand drawn. Like someone drew like 1 million frames of like this shit. But now like you could look at like Demon Slayer and even like Snowball Earth, Fist of the North Star, anything with like CG in it. Like I don't want to take it away that like, oh no, they've replaced animation with CG, but they have new tools now to be able to make it easier for them to put out more stuff with
also,
less amount of time.
Let's look at the amount of animators. I mean, we're looking at the amount of animators that are doing this. It wasn't like this prestigious job back then. Even with like looking at something like The Simpsons breaking into the cultural zeitgeist, like before that, you had like Looney Tunes. And it was like, oh, comic books, Looney Tunes on here and there for kids, but in general, animation is for kids. And then Simpsons comes along and like changes the game. And then, you know, Shin-Chan in Japan comes along.
Crayon Shin-Chan, yeah. That's still going.
There's so much that we can look at the past and understand why these have stood the test of time. And a lot of these newer shows are going to have that issue where they don't. Look at music. There's a reason why AC/DC was, you know, popular then and is still like looked at like they were an incredible band. It's the storyline of AC/DC and the personality behind them. They weren't like an industry plant. They were a garage band, you know, or whatever it was, you know, like that type of ascension to the cultural relevance in the world. The Beatles, another example.
I was just going to say that. I mean, I think that's a really good example is the music thing. But also you can look at almost anything from that like era, even like older cars and stuff, right? I mean, there's a reason why like GTOs and like all these other like old American classics are like still heralded as dream cars. And even like the like whatever the Japanese legend cars too, like the Skylines, the Sylvias. You can go through all of that stuff, man. And I think the reason why all of these things stand the test of time is because they were made because people were passionate about it. They wanted to produce a product that other people would enjoy. And they put like their heart and their soul into this stuff. But unfortunately now, like, I feel like it's more like monetarily driven, not necessarily like passion, right? It's looking at the metrics, looking at how do we hit as many demographics as possible. And yes, because if you get like a big investor to be like, hey, your project, like we think this can be great. We're going to give you like $10 billion for you to like make this thing sky high. But then once you take that money, obviously now you are beholden to the investors and what they want to see. And obviously the investors want to see money. They're not necessarily like on board with the passion if it gets in the way of how much money they can make. And I just feel like we're missing that now in society and like the kind of like where we are now at in the world, where you can see it in everywhere. You can see it, like how you said, music. We can see it in video games. We can see it in movies. We can see it in TV shows. Everyone's just churning, like trying to like make the next big thing. I mean, you could look at what Stranger Things, right? You could look at Game of Thrones, where like they had these like followings of people that just like loved it, and then they just dropped the ball. And you know, you have interviews with the directors and everything, and you could see how they change. You could watch like an old director's interview versus like a new director's interview at the end of the series. I think Stranger Things is a good example where I think they had that passion in them to bring this retro style TV show to the forefront. But then as Stranger Things went on, it kind of changed from not necessarily that message of bringing the retro back and bringing it alive. I think they got lost. And normally when people get lost, it's because of money. It's not really because of anything else. It just grew too big, and then, you know, kind of like greed set in. And then now we're presented with a product that has less passion, but it's making more money. And it's very unfortunate that that is kind of the way that we're moving as like a culture.
I'd agree.
I'll just get off my high horse here and
clippity clop, Greg. You clippity clop it all day.
We'll get to the last anime we have here for today on this spring 2026 wrap up. And it is another old one that was on my list that I got around to watching. It is called Blockade Battlefront. I don't think I'll spend too much time on it. I think my best analogy I can make to this is it reminded me a lot of Cowboy Bebop. It felt like a story about, as DJ Montague says, Shakespeare, much ado about nothing. You have the characters, you have the more or less overarching story of the main kid, and pretty much you just have random shit happening both seasons. And then, you know, at the end, they do kind of have like a wrap up, slight closure episode where they put some of the stuff together. But I feel like it's in that same vein of Cowboy Bebop, where you're just almost watching kind of like, you know, their day-to-day stuff. In Cowboy Bebop, they're bounty hunting. In this show, they are taking care of ridiculous supernatural stuff that's going on. You have vampires, you have different beings, you have aliens. Basically what happened was New York got nuked by some weird thing, and then two worlds basically merged, and then there's a dome over it keeping the fog encased specifically on New York, and then you have these different teams and people. And
so good. And
like, I don't think this was for me. I'm not going to say that I didn't enjoy it, but I will say that I believe if you liked Cowboy Bebop, if you like that idea of kind of like do the day-to-day and do the random things, actually the much ado about nothing, does it actually amount to something bigger, and does it affect other things around you, even though at that current moment in time it just seems like a random story that's going on. We'll say there's probably more to it than I was able to pick up. Kind of these kinds of stories that have short story feel to it, where every episode doesn't necessarily link together and they're like on a new adventure every single episode, and I kind of get lost. Some of it connects, some of it doesn't connect. For me, it's hard to keep track of what is going on. I think for the time frame of 2015, 2017, which is season 1, season 2 of this anime, the animation was pretty wild. That was one thing that kind of drew it to me, was the animation and some of the fights and like the powers that the people have and stuff like that. And it was pretty interesting, but again, for me, I'm not much of a Cowboy Bebop fan. I know that's a minority opinion, but I think if you do like Cowboy Bebop, I think you would like this a lot. And I think this is one that's right up DJ Montague's alley if he decides that he has some extra time to watch these seasons
One
of
these
anime.
Days, I'll get extra time.
It does a lot of things like well. I think the comedy aspects of it are good. I think the ridiculousness of it is balanced. They have serious portions of it. They have funny portions of it. It just kind of hits all sorts of different like emotions and like genres and that sort of stuff, and like cool shit, like stupid shit. Like it has something in there for everyone. Now it's a little bit disjointed for me, but with that being said, I gave season 1 a 7, but I gave season 2 a 6. And I mean, in terms of recommendations, me personally, like I don't recommend, but I think that there's enough there in this anime. And if you are into that style, that you would really enjoy it. So I wouldn't look past this anime, but it's not for me personally.
Okay. I think I would love it.
I think so too.
I think I should check it out.
With that being said, that is Greg Big Smart Desus's wrap up of spring 2026. There we go, everybody. We will see you in summer 2026 here next episode. And because this was a wrap up, I wasn't really able to do segues. So go visit it-aesthetics.com and you can get a shirt like the one DJ Montague has, or the one that I am wearing right now, which is one of their new versions of their oversized tees. DJ Montague wasn't looking. I thought he would have liked that shirt a lot.
I had to type in the thing. Let me show it to me again.
So here's a front with the embroider. So this is the embroider here.
Okay, yeah. Oh yeah. I'm interested.
Oh, you want me to do it again? Here,
yes, please. One more time. Camera can't see it. Oh, that's pretty sick. Nice. Dude, Greg's got some back muscles.
But visit it-aesthetics.com to get these sick anime streetwear shirts, and be sure to use tab C10 at checkout for 10% off, or tab C5 for $5 off, stacking on any deals that are going on at the time. And I will say that this is the new style of the oversized tee. The material is different, but not in a bad way. I will say it's a bit lighter, not so heavy like the other ones. I do like the embroidery on it. I think that that's nice. And they do have larger graphics on the back or the front, depending on which shirt that you get. Quality isn't an issue here. If you get the old style or the new style, shirts are still good. They said on the website that the new version fits a little looser on the new style, I guess I can see it, but I don't think it's really that big of a deal where that shouldn't really sway you from going to the new style if you see a design that you like.
Cool.
Also, check out gamersubs.gg and use promo code DJ Montague at checkout for limited edition flavors like limited edition Bleach, 1000 Year Blood War 1 that came out. You could also get Blue Screen Babe, Raw Meat, Guacamole Gamer Fart 9000, the Yogurt Effect, Anime Girl Thighs, Exotic Drop, Incel Tears, all sorts of stuff out there. Those are actually real flavors. Those aren't ones that I made up, even though they sound like I did. But be sure to visit gamersubs.gg and use promo code DJ Montague at checkout for 10% off of your entire order.
I got this one, Buff Pup Doggy Style. This shit is fucking delicious. Oh my god. It makes me mad. Oh, it's like an apple peach tea. Oh, fuck, dude. Like all these flavors. I was drinking this last night, and I said on stream, I said, motherfucker, I need to start buying the AFK stuff because it's so fucking good. It's just I can drink it all the time.
Thanks again, everybody, for joining us on this extended episode of Marriage Toxin Finale plus Spring 2026 wrap up. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, anywhere that you listen to podcasts. You can find us by looking up the Anime Book Club podcast. And you can check us out on the internet at theanimebookclub.com. And Instagram, Anime Book Club Podcast. So stop in, say hi, subscribe, check us out. YouTube, I have everything split up in playlists. So if you just wanted to listen to all of the Wistoria dick jokes in a row, you can.
You can do that. You can do that. I sent it to Ripsky earlier. Hopefully he likes our anger and dick jokes.
But other than that, I don't think we have anything else for you besides DJ Montague's moral of the story.
The moral of the story today is a little poignant. So, a lot of video games, they come out, they make a splash, they do well, then they don't have any new content for a very long time. Today, the DLC for Grand Blue Fantasy Relink came out, called Endless Ragnarok, and normally me being the gamer guy myself, would jump at the option to play it. And I'm actually kind of not going to. At least not on stream. Because I'm actually fucking tired of these companies only basing what they are going to create based on, like, how much financial incentive is behind it. Because these passion projects are awesome, man. And I want to celebrate more passion projects. That Grand Blue Fantasy Relink fucking slapped. Hopefully the expansion's good. Fucking Dragon's Dogma 2 fucking slapped. And they're making an expansion now, and they kept it under the radar for fucking 3 years. I wish there was more healthy communication with the player bases and decision making that these companies would actually come out with.
Like, take yourself back, I think, a little bit. Back to, like, the 90s, before you had top 10 lists, top 100 lists, just a quick Google search on, like, what video game I should play. I think you should get outside of your comfort zone a little bit and read some summaries, like, get a demo, like, play some stuff.
I wish there was more demos. Like, it seems like it just doesn't happen.
Try some new stuff, right? You don't always have to follow what, like, the trend is when it, like, on anything, really. Like, you have the power to make these decisions on what you play and what you don't play. And I understand sometimes it's easier to give up that choice and just listen to another list or another person or just Googling, like, what is popular. There's a lot of good content out there. Like, there's a lot of good anime out there, and some of it's gonna fly under the radar or not land on these gigantic anime lists that are flooded with, you know, whatever the tops are right now. And it's not like that those are bad, but there's other animes out there that are just as good, if not better, but you're not going to find them unless you look. So, you know, maybe take some time at some point and do a little bit of searching on your own versus kind of following the trend of what everyone else is playing.
Agree wholeheartedly.
To piggyback off your moral. Sorry
yeah.
for
no, you're good.
Jumping on your back and feeling how big it's gotten since we were children.
Just fucking flexing for you, great.
Yeah, I'm Elfie and you're Will.
Get on this big
yeah,
bag.
and I'm just like,
Anyways.
oh, like it's gotten so big, bigger than I remember.
Friends, make more demos, please, for your video games. I wish you would, because I want to enjoy more. Also, release Dragon Toast so I can enjoy that fucking game. Anyways, friends, thank you for hanging out with us today. We appreciate you so very dearly. Greg, tell them goodbye.
It is that time, everybody. I will tell you goodbye.
Thank you, friends, for checking out the Anime Book Club podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode.
And if you don't want to miss the next one, follow us on the socials where we announce new episodes, content, and other cool stuff. You can also check out our anime list with our rankings and follow along with what we're currently watching and what we have watched in the past.
All the links are in the description. See you in the next one. Bye!